Is school education really still worth it? Well, personally, if you ask me, I think it's worth not so much nowadays. I mean, listen here, follow me here, okay? Let me explain. You see, by just going to school, there is a lot of cost that you are paying, okay? And if you ask me, it's not that much worth it, especially with the higher education of learning, unless, of course, you want to be a doctor or something, yeah? But there is some cost. I agree. Someone can argue out this and say that at some point there is some benefits of education. That I agree. Okay, but we have to also agree that you see there is some costs that comes with education. There is some disadvantages that comes with education. Okay, let's talk about it. Welcome to the channel. My name is Kimboy, and of course this is according to Kimboy. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel as well and support the channel by also liking this video. Okay. So first of all, let's start with the financial cost of things, okay? You see, by just going to school, you pay a lot of school fees, okay? You go to check that degree, you pay a lot of school fees, millions, in fact. You see, in Kenya, the average cost of a degree is about half a million to a million. Yeah? No, I think, yeah, depending on which degree, of course, you're taking. If it's masters, I think the average is about half a million, 500,000 Kenya shillings. And for an undergrad degree, I think it's a million. Yeah. So you're going to take this degree, you've spent millions, yeah, to get what? A paper that's not helping you in the end, that might not help you in the end. I mean, yeah, someone can say that you come out with knowledge, but I mean, think about it. You went to school, right? You came out with student loans, okay? A lot of people they don't even get those jobs in the end, yeah. Then you're left with loans. Huh? Those are things that you have to pay. I think the other day I saw help, the student loans board in Kenya. They were coming for you, for you the student, who took advantage of help loan to educate himself or herself and then failed to pay. Yeah, they're planning to come for you, and they really don't care whether you have that job or not, right? I mean that's what is happening. So that's just one of the financial costs, okay? And then all of a sudden now you've spent all this money and then you realize that someone out there who did not even go to school somehow is making it in life. So what are you saying? You're telling me that I've spent all these millions to go to school and somehow someone who did not even go to school is making it and doing way better than me. So what are you trying to explain to me? Yeah. So you're left there asking yourself, what time exactly are you going to make it? What time? When is your time? Because you get that internship role. You get that internship role and you need to pay bills, okay? With this economy, I mean, a lot of things are not that cheap, okay? With the inflation going on, with everything going on, the cost of things are rising and the jobs are in the cities. So in the city, you find that cost of things are expensive. And so with that small amount, you find that you are not making it, okay? When are you going to make it? That's what you're left questioning. So this is the financial cost of just going to school, right? And now let's talk about the emotional cost of going to school. Right? You see, you've been taken to school since you were a kid. Okay? You're what? Less than 5 years old. That's the first time you enrolled in school. Okay? A school system that your ancestors, of course, if you're an African, your ancestors did not invent this thing, okay? But somehow you have to go through it. Huh? And you find that even those kids, they go to school, then they sleep half of the day. You see, you've taken that 3-year-old school or 4-year-old school. All you can learn is just A, B, C, D, and then sleep the rest of the day. Don't you think that you are stressing this child? Don't you think that this child should be at home, probably being homeschooled in some way? and enjoying the love from the parents. Yeah. And now what? You have to study for 20 years, 25 years of your life just in school, stuck, following the system. And then in the end, you're told what? You don't have a job. Come on. There are no jobs in the economy now. After studying for what, 25 years? Come on. You see, you go to school, you find that in some educational systems, you find that there are those rankings systems, right? So where they rank students according to the way they perform in the exams. So you find that there is the top student and the bottom student, right? You see what that does to the bottom student. Assuming you're not that smart, okay? You've tried to study this thing, okay? You're told revise every evening, but somehow this thing does not seem to work, okay? You find yourself in the last, and then now the teacher even comes and tells you, you know what, you're not going to make this. You're not going to make it, okay? You are a failure, okay? In fact, some teachers just tell you that. Can you believe it? The emotional cost, the emotional, that's literally that a lot of it's literally a discouragement to those students. And I don't know why some teachers say this, but because a student has not performed in class, is termed as a failure, you know. And I like the CBC education system because now it's getting rid of um, that form of education where there's ranking, you know. And if you don't understand the CBC, if you're not in Kenya, of course, it's a system of education where the Kenyan government has recently adopted to just to sort of change and replace what was there, yeah, which it was called the 844 system. And so that is how it is. You see, the emotion. And now I think there's something that we need to shift to. You see, in this economy nowadays, skills, if you ask me, I think skills is that is one thing that matters a lot. Huh? You find that people out there, they're learning skills. They're not just going to get those degrees, okay? You can learn skills anywhere, anytime, without really needing to go through the education system. And you can actually make it, build businesses with your skills, right? You can solve people's problems and make millions as a result of that, instead of only depending on education. Yeah, you can work for a few years, solve huge problems, scale that business, become successful, and retire very early, instead of what graduating for going for 20 years, graduating and then working for until you're 70 and then retiring and probably die at 80 or 75. Come on, this is not the life we are about to live. Okay, I think we need to shift our minds. Huh? What do you think? Do you think, just comments down below, okay? What are your thoughts on the current education system? Yeah. Do you think they're okay? And now even after all that, you find that even the professors, the ones that are teaching you economics and how you should start your business, they don't even own the business themselves. They're not business owners. You see, you find that someone who is broke is trying to teach you how to actually make it in life. Bro, why is it that you did not invest yourself? You know, you're trying to teach me investment in an economics class, trying to tell me how to run businesses, but you yourself do not even have a business in the first place. Come on, this is jokes, okay? This is jokes, okay? And now you see, also you come to realize that what schools are teaching are not really relevant at all. In most cases, you find that they are not relevant. What you're taught in school is not really useful out here. Okay, a good example is that is if you're studying computer science or a software engineering class, you find that most of the things that are being taught are not even useful in the industry in the first place. You taught a lot of things out in the classes, but you use like what, 10% of it? Come on. Are you saying that my school fees, I pay millions for all that knowledge that is not useful out here? Come on. I think 90% of my school fees should be refunded because this knowledge is not useful out here, okay? I mean, some of this knowledge in most of these courses are not useful out here, okay? I think my school fee should be refunded. What do you think? Huh? What do you think? You see, there are some skills that I think that are very important when it comes to real life experiences, and that I think that kids should be taught, students should be taught. Speak of finances, you know, you need to learn finances, because then if you don't study finances, you will not know how to manage your finances. And financing is very important. How to having that financial literacy and run your finances is very important. Talk of problem solving, and critical thinking. That is one of the most important skill as well. You see, if students and could just be taught how to identify problems and how to solve those problems, I think anyone can build any business out here. You know, people could just build business without. I think, in fact, we could solve a lot of unemployment crisis that we have. You know, and then another very important skill that I think school should be teaching is human relationships. How to relate with other humans. You see, for the rest of your life, you'll always be with other humans. And if you don't know how to speak to people, how to be with people, then I don't think you will really make it so much. Because in business, you will meet people. In careers, you will meet people. Professionally, you will meet people. And I think having that good interaction with people is very important. Emotional intelligence. You see, the ability to understand how the other person feels and to respond effectively is very important. Yeah, I think it's one of the good skills, if you ask me. Sales is also another one. I think you can become rich with sales. You could start business and you could sell. If you ask me, I think sales is key for anyone who starts business, because without sales, I don't think you really have any business there. I don't think you have any business. So you see, those skills are very important, and I think they're the ones which should be taught in school instead of some other so sort of irrelevant skills, if you ask me. What do you think? Leave your comments in the comment section, and if you like the video, smash the like button. Also subscribe to my channel, support me, and I'd really appreciate. See you in the next one. Bye.